essentially, the if-then node is a switch. All right, so if you've ever done programming in Excel, that's probably, my guess, the most wide use where people might have come into an if-then statement before, right? And essentially, it's just a switch, right? So if the condition is true, right? So what you're plugging into the if are your signals. And if a signal is true, no signal would be false, right? And so so when a signal comes in, it switches the output is switched to either the data, whatever solvers, or AND node is coming into the then, or it'll switch to the else, right? So when a signal comes into the if, the whatever's connected to the then input goes out to the output, right? Otherwise, if there is no signal at the if, then the else is connected to the output, right? So it's just switching between, two inputs as to what gets to the output. You could effectively do the same thing with AND nodes, AND nodes and a inverter node, right? But this is just a lot cleaner. Um, yeah, yeah. Your logic board, and nodes it looks cleaner with this, but you could do the same thing with AND nodes as well, right? So the primary reason why you would want to use the if then is if you have two different trading systems, like you have a trading system that works well with a trending market, right? So it gives you trending trade signals, and the other trading system is for consolidating markets. So maybe that would be like a counter trend signal, right? So you have two trading systems, one connected to the then, the other one connected to the else, and then you have a deterministic logic identifies when is the market trending versus when is the market consolidating, right? So you have a set of logic, that's determining trending. Should I be using the trending trade system, or should you be using the consolidating or counter trend trade system, right? And so that control logic, connect into the if, and it controls whether the signals from the trend following system, goes through to the output, or the signals from the counter trend system go through to the output. Yeah, that's probably the most simplest reason why you would want to use that. But basically, it's you got two separate systems firing off signals, two systems firing off signals, and then you have some kind of control logic, that determines which system should be firing off its signals and not the other one, right? So it's always one or the other. The one thing to keep in mind is that long outputs are always calculated separately from short outputs. So this is two switches, right? There's one switch for the long calculation and a separate switch for the short calculation, right? So that's why this has a green switch and a red switch there, right? So always remember that. So in kind of the example I gave you, when the signals come in, you're going to want a long and a short signal together. Always want a long and a short signal to come in together. So that way both switches are switching together and they're not switching separately, like this example shows here. So actually, I think there is, here we go. Right. So this would be, yeah, this is what you would want to do in the example I gave you. You would want a long and a short signal always together and never one or the other. That way your two switches here, are always switching together, at the same time.